My name is Charles Davis. I'm running for the Missouri House 128th District.
Great. And we just thank you for your time today. Really appreciate you cutting.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You bet. And I know that you're in the thick of things out there, trying to meet as many people as you can.
Absolutely.
And we're doing this for the Young Professionals Network, part of the Joplin Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
We're speaking to people that have, maybe new families, new careers. So it's a little bit different than the average, maybe regular voter, or the people that I know are usually get out and do the most voting. So we're trying to figure out ways to get them information and make it accessible for everyone, and really figure out what makes Charlie Davis Charlie Davis.
Okay.
So starting off, what got you into this race?
Well, I'm just very concerned about the future. I've got 3 kids. I've got a 17-year-old daughter, a 12-year-old son, and a 4-year-old son. And I'm going to soon depart from this earth. Hopefully not too soon, but in the future. And I'm just really worried about the condition of our country and the state that we're going to leave to our kids. I've been in business for 21 years. I've owned the software center in Joplin. I was actually in the Navy out in the middle of the ocean when my dad called on the ham radio and let me know that there was a business for sale. He knew that I was going to get out of the Navy that October of 1989. So he called up and said, hey, there's a business for sale. If you want to take it over, we'll buy it and you can come back and it will be my inheritance. So it took me a whole 30 seconds of thinking and praying about it, and I made my decision. And October of 1989, that's exactly what I did. I got out of the Navy, came back here, and for 21 years worked really hard to make my business a success.
And you still do that today?
Still do that today, absolutely. People who don't know, state reps don't make very much money. $35,000 a year, and you have to have a residence here and there. So I think the way that our state rep positions are set up is probably the way our founding fathers really wanted us to have our legislators go up, do your business, then go home and run your business. And that's exactly what we're doing.
What do you think you have to offer? I mean, you have an opponent that is going to make an impact on a young professional's life.
Absolutely. Well, I think some of the things that I have to offer is my business experience. The YPN group is a group of entrepreneurs, younger people, just like you had said, and I understand the plight of small business. The key thing that we need to do in the state of Missouri is economic development. Jobs, 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 and if you didn't hear me, jobs. Without jobs, it's hard for people to take care of their families. You don't have a job, how are you going to feed your family? How are you going to pay your rent, pay the electric bill? So one of the key issues is making sure that we have jobs available for our Missouri citizens. And you do that 2 ways. One, with economic development, you try to excite businesses to come to Missouri. You entice them, whether it's through tax credits or abatements or whatever the case may be, to get them to come and start new businesses. But on the other hand, you also take the existing businesses and make it an environment where they can prosper, and we as state legislators need to assist them in making it conducive to where they can hire more people when they need to because they're growing. So the business experience that I have is one of the key things that I think I can bring to the table and at least use that knowledge to bring economic development to Southwest Missouri and then ultimately to our whole state.
Right. The states, we can't print money, so there's a couple of unpopular choices you can make. If you need money, you could raise taxes, or you could cut your outgo, your services or different options. Neither of those are positive things that people like. So when you're facing a tough decision like that, what do you base your decisions on?
Let me make it easy. It's not tough. No new taxes, period. The majority of Americans understand that we're overtaxed. My family comes from Germany. I actually graduated high school in Karlsruhe, Germany, and they're a socialist country. They work sun up to sundown for benefits. They make so little money because it's a socialist country, and it's because they're taxed to death. The last thing I want to do is create any kind of tax that is going to be a burden on the people. Now, with that being said, there's certain kind of taxes that I'm not against. The sales tax, when it's a vote of the people. I think the key issue is let the people vote, let the people decide to raise the taxes on their own initiative rather than state legislators putting an undue burden on people. I'm not for any type of new tax, period. And when people talk about cutting our budget, one thing that you have to understand is our budget was about $26 billion. I think it's about 23 right now. But just a few years ago, it was 19 billion. So in a time frame of less than 6 to 8 years, I believe the numbers are correct, we went from 19 to 26 billion dollars. So we swelled government spending. We swelled the spending that our state was, the money that our state was spending, and that was swelling the tax dollars that was being spent. So whenever we're cutting spending, we're just slowing the growth or bringing it back to previous levels. No new taxes, that's been one of my slogans. I'm very in favor of that. I don't believe new taxes benefits anybody. So the only thing that you can do, since you're not raising taxes, you got to cut spending. I believe our state government as well as our federal government, I don't think our state government is on the level of our federal government, but we are at the point where we need to control our spending. And we cut $800 million or so, give or take a few million. When you're talking trillions in the federal government, what's a few million? And we're going to have to do the same thing next year. Tom Flanagan, who's from 127th District, made the comment that we're going to be having to cut about $1 billion next year. And that's going to be tough.
So what does that look like for, I mean, what would that look like for me?
Well, we have to look at where most of the money is being spent. Education, social services. Nobody likes to cut education. Mm-hmm. Education is the key environmental variable to a successful workforce in the state of Missouri. If we're not educating the kids, then we don't have an educated workforce. So we need to make sure that our kids the schools are well funded. There's a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse in the social services aspect of our state government. I can tell you story after story after story of waste, fraud, and abuse. And if we could curtail just that aspect, we would cut quite a bit of our state spending.
So, no new taxes. That George H. Bush. He had that slogan.
Yeah, no new taxes. Yeah. And I'll tell you another reason why I'm not for new taxes. The federal government's going to talk about this cap and trade, not a state issue, except for our state legislators are elected to protect the Missouri citizens. So our state legislators are the ones that need to stand up